Hello, this is Joe Pryor, the virtual real estate team in Oklahoma, where we specialize in residential investments in the Oklahoma City and the Tulsa market. I have been getting a ton of Zoom meetings with investors that are fairly nervous. Now, why are they nervous? Well, there's good reason to be nervous. The market is a little crazy right now, and it has to do with the word tariffs. For me, that's not the most beautiful word in the English language. Now, the Liberation Day was 12 days ago. Since that time, the stock market has been on an incredible roller coaster. In fact, we've had some incredible losses, gains, then losses again. It's hard to keep up with, but it's because there is no confidence whatsoever. There is uncertainty about these tariffs. Are they going to come on? Or are they going to come off? And the reason why the market is so nervous about it is because there has been 9 flip-flops since 12 days ago. They're on, then they're off. They're paused, and then we're going to exempt certain things like phones and electronics. Well, we're not going to do that. So this has been going back and forth, and the bond market and the stock market is reacting to it because uncertainty is a killer. So what it comes down to is, what do you invest in, and should you invest right now? And it's a great question. Do you just sit on your hands, sit on your money, don't do anything? Now, I'm a holder of stocks, all right? So we've been in the stock market, my wife and I, for a long time. I'm not doing anything. I am letting it ride. Why? Because we had a record day last week, where people with 401ks sold at the low in the market. And I'm not going to do that. I don't need that money. I'm going to set, and it's come back up again. You don't sell at the lows. So I'm just leaving the stock market alone. But at the same time, I'm not investing in the stock market because it's all rumors at this point. I don't have insider trading information. Neither do you. We leave that alone. So why does buying real estate right now make the most amount of sense? Very simple to me is, in times of trouble, in times of uncertainty, you go with what's called a flight to quality. Now, since World War II, probably, the flight to quality internationally and for corporations and investment groups has been the 10-year Treasury note. All right, now it's gone up, mainly because of the uncertainty, but it is coming back down again as people start adapting to this new reality. But it is up more than it was in the last couple of weeks. So that's maybe just a little bit of a negative to think about. Now, on the other hand, the second flight to quality is housing. There's only been one time where housing was a problem, and that was after 2008, when it melted down because fraud of banks and fraud of Wall Street. That's exactly what it was. But guess what? That Great Recession didn't last that long. And the other thing about bubbles, because believe me, greed is always in the system, it goes to a different place. It doesn't stay there. There was a dot-com bust, remember? There was a savings and loan bust, which doesn't exist anymore. There was the real estate bust. We'll see what the next one is, what the next balloon is, but it's not in real estate. So here's the deal. If you buy right now, you're still going to have positive cash flow in Oklahoma City or Tulsa. And so if inflation comes in, and believe me, if we have these tariffs, inflation's going to really rise a lot, which means your housing costs are going to rise a lot. And that $250,000 house in the course of about 3 or 4 months is now $270,000 because everything is more expensive to build. So that's one problem. But you still have positive cash flow, and all of a sudden, your house is worth a lot more money, and compound interest of appreciation really works. Tariffs don't come in. Guess what happens? Then the bond market improves, and that 6.125% interest rate that you have becomes 5.125% interest rate. And then what you do is a very simple refinance. And remember, your values have been going up even without inflation, without tariffs. And so you roll the closing cost and still get a lower payment and more cash flow. Real estate right now is a win-win. Now, what I tell my investors, look, if you're not ready, you're not ready, number one. Number two, if you can't sleep at nights, don't invest. Don't invest in anything. If I invested in the stock market right now, I couldn't sleep at night. I can if I do real estate, but that's the key. You got to know that you have the wherewithal, that you have the backstop, because you always have to look for the downside. But if you can do it right now, real estate is doing extremely well, and it will continue to do so.